go. Oh, no. How do I make myself big? I never know this part. There we go. Hi, everybody. Happy Stitch People Day. It's Sip and Stitch time. How perfect that in September, the last Saturday of the month, being the day we do Sip and Stitches, is the perfect day to have Stitch People Day. I've got a phone in my pocket and it's doing a weird angle on my body, so I'm just going to take a second and get that on out of there. Thanks for joining. I've got a handful of people on YouTube, so it would say, hello, Maroop. I've got messages. Let's see. We're live on Instagram as well. We've got some viewers. I've got both of my comments up so that I can see everybody from all over who's hanging out. Hello, Chris from Yorkshire. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm working on a wee portrait. I'm working on the hair right now. You can kind of see. I took a yoga class last Wednesday, here in Waterford, Maine, tiny little town. They have like a wellness studio in their old town, and it's like the only business in the old town because it is so old. It used to be historically, back in like the 19th century, late 1800s, mid to late 1800s, there was like this culture that bathing in mineral water was like really good for you. And so people would vacation to places with natural lakes and such. And Waterford, Maine was a hotspot for that. But since then, it's mostly just been people who go to camp in Maine or whatever who like it here. Anyhow, went to a yoga class in this old, cool old building, and the teacher was awesome. The class was great, and I decided to make a portrait of her that I'm going to drop off because I thought she was cool. And I want to lead by example and suggest that as a Stitch People community, we do more spontaneous acts of stitching. Hello, Cindy from Brazil. Hello, Carla. Hi, everybody. So good to see you. So fun to hang out. Thanks for being here. I need to double check on Instagram. I've scheduled all these posts to do, and I forget which ones have already posted or not. So one of the things that I'm doing today for Stitch People Day, yes, it hasn't come up yet. I'm giving away a free portrait. And there's an explanation for that. You have to nominate someone else to win the free portrait, because I've been doing these monthly giveaways. At the beginning of every month, we're doing giveaways, and it's like comment below, tag a friend to win a free book, a free pattern, some credit to the store. We usually get like 80, 90, 100, 120 comments sometimes for people entering to win. Well, in April, we did tag somebody in the comments below to win a portrait. You know, tag somebody who you think is really exceptional, who should win a portrait. Giselle, Alice and the Bear, who did the Realistic Hair Techniques book with us, she offered to do a free portrait of someone, and we got one comment. Just the one. We get 100 comments when people want to win a book for themselves, but when it comes to nominating someone to win a portrait, we only got the one comment. I thought that was very strange. I didn't like that very much. So I'm giving away a portrait again for Stitch People Day, but you've got to nominate somebody else to win it, because I think we could just use a little more good juju in the world. And but then I thought, you know, if I believe, and I do, that we should be more benevolent in our Stitch portrait giving, then I need to be more benevolent in my Stitch portrait giving, which is why I'm working on a Stitch portrait for pretty much a total stranger whose yoga class I took and enjoyed and am grateful for, and I needed something to stitch. So that's what I'm working on today. If any of you who are joining me are working on something too, let me know in the comments what you're working on. And you know, we'll get to stitching. I've got Spencer here too. He's off camera, but he's hanging out, which is always a good time.
Hello.
And oh, it says we're not live streaming to Facebook, are we, Spence?
Yes.
Oh, we are.
Is it okay?
Yeah, but it
Should I
says
take that
it says we've lost access to our Facebook account.
Oh, I fixed that.
You fixed it? Okay, cool. Spencer's on it, folks. Hello, Giselle. Christmas ornaments. Right on. Working on Christmas ornaments. Way to get ahead of it. Christmas can really sneak up. I do want to say the one comment that we got in April, now that Giselle is here, the one comment we got in April nominating someone to win a portrait was a really good nomination. Beautiful portrait. Somebody who's really awesome. I think they're like volunteer firefighter lady, and ended up being a really, really beautiful portrait by Giselle. But I was just a little disappointed. And I don't know why it went down the way it did. I don't know if it was because it was just a one-person portrait, and so maybe that was a little like different for people to think of, shifting gears from doing family portraits. That like, oh, just like a individual portrait. But what a cool way to celebrate someone if they're like your hairdresser, or your kid's high school orchestra conductor, or your mailman, or you know. So anyway, we're doing another giveaway today, so keep an eye out for that. And I'll be stitching this one, and I'm doing up to 6 characters, so it can be a full family. If you want some help getting ahead of the holidays, you can nominate somebody and we'll just do a random winner. Also, it's by the end of this 90-minute hangout, I'm going to be announcing the winner of our full digital library. We're giving away our entire digital library. It's like over $1,000 value if you add everything up. We have like 200, 300, somewhere in there, somewhere between 200 and 300 patterns on our website. All sorts of things, and you will get access to all of them. And this is for people participating in the I Am Stitch People self-portraits posting. I apologize that I wasn't super on the ball with announcing that, but hopefully y'all were able to, repost previous years of self-portraits and things. Been a busy year. And just haven't been in the Stitch People Day mindset to go all out. It was easier to go all out for Stitch People Day, back in 2020 when we were all cooped up inside, and it was a lot easier to think of fun things to do and coordinate all the brands and whatever. But things have slowed down. People aren't crafting as much. Joann's went bankrupt. It's a different world in 2025. I'm working on a Christmas wooden sign that I'm painting and assembling. Always love crafting. To balance out my stitching, have to use different muscles. Oh, I love that. Yes. I'm all about different crafting. Fun to use different parts of your brain. Fun to just work on different projects, think of different things. And also sometimes the skills transfer. Sometimes things that you learn and figure out in stitching or in painting or whatever transfer into other skills. It trains your eyes a little different, trains your hands a little different. Kind of fun. It's like I remember once, I feel like I watched a documentary thing, like a video about this group of football players that they convinced to go take a ballet class, and they were dying by the end because it just uses different muscles. There's different types of athleticism. So similarly, I think there's different types of craftiness, that all of which should be celebrated. I'm going to be leaning more into that as I've been thinking about what Stitch People looks like moving forward. I need to come out of my shell, I think. I've been a bit of a hermit the past couple years. Got a little bit what's the word? Cowed? I don't know, you just get a little bit vulnerable when you share a lot, and sometimes you get criticism and you just want to hide in a cave. And I did. And I'm ready to come out of my cave, and I'm going to be making some more content. And a big part of the content is going to be about literally just do anything to make your life a little happier and a little more beautiful. It doesn't have to be cross-stitching. I don't care if you do Stitch People. It'd be cool, because when you buy our patterns, that helps my livelihood. So, I like that part. But anything you do that makes you feel creative, that makes your world a little bit brighter, a little bit happier, a little bit prettier, brings a smile to your face, number one, to the faces of your loved ones, number two, it's worth doing. especially in these troubled times. We've got to fight the robots. I joke with my sister about fighting the robots, and the algorithms work like regardless of what you're feeding it. So if you're feeding it AI slop and people are clicking on it, then you're going to get more AI slop, and the robots are just going to keep doing AI slop. But if we feed the robot algorithms like nice, happy content about crafting and making the world a better place, then the algorithms will spread that content if it seems to engage people. So it's not like all hope is lost on what you get in your social media feeds. Anybody who knows me knows I have a complicated relationship with social media, and but I'm gonna try and contribute to making social media great again. Remember when it was just like to share with your friends, and you could just like go to a party and take pictures on your digital camera and then upload those pictures to your Facebook album. And everybody could be like, wow, that looked like a fun party. And you could be like, yeah, we sure love so-and-so and their birthday. And that was the full extent of it. But then, of course, brands started using social media. Stitch People started right at the beginning of all of that, of like monetizing with social media. We had no idea what we were doing at first. And it was mostly just like, hi, we're Stitch People. We have these products. Here you go. But it's a different beast now, and I kind of want to go back to the old way. Just like, hi, doing some stuff. Here you go. Like it or don't. Have a nice day. But actually, it's nice if you like it, because then that helps your algorithm be a little nicer, a little more normal. It's like, what do they say? Say vote with your wallet, right? And it's the same thing with social media, only it's your eyeballs and your time and attention. You vote with your time. And we can give our time to stuff that's more uplifting and important. Ooh, Alejandra is starting a Halloween project. My 9-year-old daughter, Sophia, made her own Stitch Me Halloween project and stitched it in 2 days, putting me to shame. That's so cute. I love that she's stitching. How fun that must be for you to see that and be able to help. Hello, welcome to, I've not used Stitch People. Where should I start? Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lizzie Bean. I started cross-stitching family portraits in 2011, and people wanted to learn how to do it themselves, so I wrote a book called Do It Yourself Stitch People. I would check that out first. You can go to stitchpeople.com and look at Do It Yourself Stitch People. If you feel like you are a crafty person, you can start there. Like if you feel pretty comfortable, like if you watch a show or see something on YouTube or Instagram and you're like, oh, I could figure that out, like that feels doable. If you're kind of a crafty go-getter, start with Do It Yourself Stitch People. If you're not, I would start with, we've got a book called Stitch People Basics, and that book helps like teach you how to design the Stitch People characters. And it walks you through how to think about it, how to visualize it. It breaks it down a little more for people who aren't as comfortable kind of diving into craftiness on their own and winging it. And if you've never cross-stitched before, I do cross-stitch and embroidery. Oh, perfect! Do it yourself, Stitch People. That's where you should start. It has, oh gosh, it has all the instructions on like how to set up a portrait, because every human being looks different, right? So you can't just have one pattern to be like, this is the lady pattern, and this is the dude pattern, and these are the kids patterns. So it teaches you how to set up your portrait, how to customize everything, how to do text or what have you. And then there's pages and pages and pages of patterns for hairstyles and clothing, all sorts of clothing, kind of your business wear, your casual wear, some outerwear, all options for men, women, children. And then we have pets as well, lots of cats, lots of dogs, some small animals like ferrets, lizards, turtles, guinea pigs, hamsters, and then a lot of accessories, as well as different like alphabets that you can use, and all sorts of resources for how to do tattoos, how to make your Stitch People taller, shorter, wider, how to do florals and geometric patterns, all sorts of guides like that in the resources of the book. It's like a 200-page book. So I would definitely do it-yourself Stitch People. And if you're in the US, we are running a sale today for Stitch People Day. We are shifting our books from the old school way of book publishing, which is to pay for a big run of printed books and you hold it in inventory and you've got to pay the warehouse to store your stuff, and then when an order comes through you ship it out. We're shifting to a print on demand, which is, thanks to the internet, when an order comes in, the book prints and ships and we don't have to hold on to inventory as much. So we're trying to get rid of our warehouse inventory, and we're doing a big sale. If you go to stitchpeople.com and click on sale at the top menu if you're on a browser, or hit the three dots if you're on your mobile and click on sale, you'll see all of our physical printed pattern books are 50% off today, maybe tomorrow too, who knows. And you can save 50% on the Do-It-Yourself Stitch People book until our inventory is gone. We're doing a big final push to get rid of our printed books and inventory. So save 50% on Do-It-Yourself Stitch People. We don't often discount it. It has been discounted lately because we're trying to move that inventory. So go check it out. Let us know what you think. And be sure, if you're on Facebook, to join the Stitch People community. It's a great place. Good people. You can ask lots of questions. Oh, yay! Oh, so great to have you, Volkman Deb. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining the live. Okay, let's see if I can end this. There we go. It's always such a funny angle on the back. Let's see. It's September, you guys. How did that happen? Creeps up on you, right? It's fall. Spencer and I finally made it to Maine. For those who've been following along, we've been working on all the house projects to sell our house, which is under contract, thankfully. It's not a done deal yet, but it is under contract. They've got to send the inspector over next week, and that's cool. On September 1st, so we've been working on all the house projects. We've been working on getting rid of all of our stuff, selling all of our stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Everything we own is now in our RV or our truck bed. We had major garage sales, sold a bunch of Stitch People stuff, had a bunch of cool Stitch People followers, community folks come. That was fun. Got rid of a lot of like books and products and samples and things. And then on September 1st, we got on the road. We've been driving across the country. It took about 2.5 weeks, just because of life and some work stuff for Spencer and some, oh gosh, the dogs needed emergency vet visits. They're fine now. One of the dogs needed that. And then we had to put our RV in the shop for a couple days because we had an oil leak and, just unexpected things. But we finally made it to Maine. My parents live in Maine. We're staying with them for, probably 8 or 10 weeks while our visa stuff gets sorted as we work on moving to the UK, because that has always been a dream, and so we're just going to do it. Gosh darn it. So that's where we are. Finally, it's a beautiful day. When we got here, it was hot crossing the country. There was like that big heat wave a lot of people got in early September. And it was okay on the road. It wasn't too miserable driving in that heat. But then we got to Maine and it rained for like 3 days straight, which apparently was really good for Maine because they've been in a drought. There hasn't been a ton of rain since June. So it all worked out. Very good news for everybody, because we got some nice fall vibes with all that rain. Now it's a sunny day again. So we're very happy to see that.
Remind me what you're working on?
I'm working on a portrait for a yoga teacher that I just met on Wednesday. I took a great yoga class. She's awesome. Very cool lady. And I decided I'm going to stitch her portrait and drop it off as a little thank you. That's all. Random acts of stitch kindness. Yes, Carla, we would have loved to see you in St. Louis. We were in St. Louis for about 5 days, and I thought I'd have way more time to connect with people. But on the first day, Spencer had to leave. He flew to California for work, so I just hunkered down at an RV park for a few days. It's beautiful. And on the very first day, one of our dogs got spooked by something because the RV is small quarters and high stress with the travel and everything. And yeah, one of our dogs got spooked and kind of chomped the other dog out of nowhere. Enough that I needed to take that other dog to the vet because it just, I don't know, it was more than a playful, like, ow, her tooth nicked her. She got a little gash on her head. And had to get a couple staples, to just little ones, to like hold that together. And then I didn't feel like I could leave the RV because I didn't want the dogs to like brawl. I don't know, not that they ever do like that usually, but I got all freaked out. So, and then we had checkup appointments with the dog. Anyway, so St. Louis ended up being way more hermetic than I had anticipated. Let's see. I need to double check. I've been working with Giselle's Realistic Hair book. It's such a great book that she wrote. Patterns and books, books and e-books, realistic hair. Man, file management, I tell you what. When you've got all these patterns, what did I say, like 250 patterns, something like that. Anyway, as luck would have it, this yoga teacher who I met for the first time last week, she had beautiful hair, dreadlocks that she had half up, and wouldn't you know, Giselle has a hairstyle very much like this. It starts on, it's hairstyle number 12, if you're curious, on page 66. Dreadlocks in a bun. So I've been using that as my guide, and it's very, very useful. So thank you for all that lovely hard work, Giselle. Okay, time to work on the bun. Here we go. Yeah, we've got the books on Mage discount right now to go through that physical inventory in the warehouse. It's just the warehouse we were using was sold to another like warehouse owner person buyer, and and they lost like a box of our tote bags, which then reappeared some months later, and it was kind of chaotic. And the prices went up, and then that warehouse sold to a third warehouse, and our prices like doubled to store our books and have them do our fulfillment. And we don't want to have to pass that cost on to you guys because we already do like printed in America printing, which is more expensive than printed in China printing, and we work with a local printer who's super awesome, and we have like high quality paper, and we do the spiral binding, and the quality of the product is reflected in the price, and we don't want the price to have to go up just because it's sitting on shelves of people who are charging a lot for those shelves. So we're doing sort of a liquidation of inventory, so that we can change our pricing structure, because 2025 and the economy. Because that's how life is, I guess. And the economy stinks, you guys. Prices are up. It was interesting as we were crossing the country to see how gas prices fluctuate from state to state, McDonald's prices fluctuating from state to state. I mean, me and Spencer can't go to McDonald's for 2 people without spending like $20. Yeah. $17, $20, $23 for like a chicken nugget meal and 2 double cheeseburgers. Like, we're not going crazy here. There was a time when that would have cost $9, maybe. So anyway, as part of Stitch People Day, we're reducing digital pattern prices overall. Just to be nice. It's totally just eating into our profits, but we're trying to make it easier for people to keep doing their hobbies. When, I mean, the tariffs are causing the DMC floss from France the price goes up. So I've seen DMC skeins of floss many dollars per skein, you know, like $4. Because prices are just going up. Wow, found out my local FedEx office will spiral bind any of my stitching books for less than $10. Bam. There you go. We love to see it. So if you get a book that isn't spiral bound and you want to, you can take it to like a FedEx, Kinko's. I guess Kinko's doesn't exist. FedEx bought them. Take it to a FedEx location and they can do it for you. There are also sometimes, like, I know the university near us has like a print shop where you can do printing and binding and stuff. So if you don't have a FedEx near you, if you have a university near you, they might have something like that. Anyway, so yeah, we're just trying to contribute to easing burdens rather than making them worse. So knock yourselves out. Go save a few bucks on our digital products. We just made a new tiered system. I'm almost done. Not all of the digital products have been reduced yet. I've started doing it this morning, and it's just taken a second because of, again, like 200 digital products that we have. But anyway, by the end of the day, that'll all be done. We came up just with a new tiered system that, like, if something is between this number of pages, if it's just one page of patterns, it's $2. If it's like 2 to 5 pages of patterns, it's $5. 6 to 9 pages is $6. 10 to 12 pages, $8. We're just reducing the price of everything because it just feels like the right thing to do. So enjoy. It's not a principle of capitalism that you learn doing the right thing because it's nice. It does not positively impact the bottom line always. Sometimes it does. I don't know. There's different pricing models. Selling fewer at a higher price or selling more quantity at a lower price. I don't know. Maybe it'll be okay for our profits. I don't know. But we just feel like we want to simplify our pricing and make it easier, make it more of a no-brainer for you all to, you know, if you need like a marching band pattern or if you need we have so many supplementary patterns. So yeah, I've blabbed about the sale too much now. I just saw another comment come in. Hi from Italy. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out. We've got some people working on ornaments. We've got Alejandro working on Halloween. We've got Carla who's painting today. What else is everybody working on? And if you're not, go grab something or print out a coloring page and do something creative. One thing I need to do, I have this blanket that I love. It's so soft, but the fabric is kind of fragile. It's like a very thin gossamer cotton, and it's just from use and wear and tear, and the occasional like dog nail has some tears in it. And I've fixed a few over the years, but I have a few more that I need to stitch. And it's a gray blanket, and in the past I've used gray floss to patch it, but now I'm thinking I might patch the tears with like vibrant, like colorful floss. And that's the reason I haven't started fixing the blanket, is because I can't decide if I should just blend it or if it would be fun to, I don't know, make the new stitching, the patch stitching stand out a little bit, like those Japanese bowls you see that when they crack they fill them with gold instead of just hiding the break. I'm working on block mounting a friend's cross stitch. Love that. Finishing touches. Hey, Shreya says, I just had a baby. He's 1 week old. Congratulations. That is a brand new baby. Hope to get back to cross-stitching soon. Stitching Halloween signs to decorate my house before moving to homework. Well done, Cherry. I think, I don't know, but I feel like you've earned some stitch time. It's a Saturday. Gotta do something crafty and fun. Wow. How is this your first baby? Shreya? What kind of stand are you using? Oh, it's like I'll find a link. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a clamp stand that you clamp onto your desk, and then it has all sorts of hinges and what are these called? Springs, hinges and springs. Cross stitch stand desk mount. It's maybe this one. This looks like it. Hand embroidery, hoop holder, adjust, embroidery, hoop stand, metal embroidery, lap stand, folding, hand embroidery, stand lap, cross stitch stand hand suitable for embroidery hoops. That's the title.
Holy.
That's so funny. I'll put it in the here. Let me share that. But that is what it is, and it's very effective. Weep. See ya. Yeah, it just clamps onto the desk, and then it's got some articulating arms to be able to hold it in place. Hey, Denise says, I also have that stand and it works great for holding my CPAP machine hose. Hey man, I think that's great.
That's smart.
Yeah, really smart. It's great for holding anything, really. You could put your, it's pretty sturdy. You could hold your phone, use it like a tripod.
Give me other things. What else could you put in there?
A photo
of
you and a friend. You could probably hold a book. If it's not too thick of a book.
So Lord of the Rings, probably not.
I mean, no, yeah. You could probably hold instructions. You could clamp it to your countertop and hold a recipe. There you go. iPad might be too heavy.
Food. Could it hold a food item?
I don't know why you'd want to. Maybe you put like a popsicle stick in it, and then you could eat a popsicle from it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You could put a sandwich. It's really, this part is like very strong. It's gonna squish anything you put there. So you couldn't put like a sandwich because it would just.
Same with a donut.
Yeah, you don't want to squish a donut in this clamp. No.
All right. But a potato.
It's gonna squish potato.
Even wow. All right.
Maybe not a raw potato, but why would you put a raw potato in an embroidery stand?
Don't judge.
Don't judge.
Maybe I want to snack on a raw potato.
Well, okay. Don't put a tomato in there. You'll get tomato goo all over.
Did I say tomato? Potato.
You said potato, but it made me think of tomatoes on account of the word.
The word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spence, have you tested the volume? Can you hear me okay on this thing? I'm just double checking, now that we're 37 minutes into it. Spence, have you tested the volume? Hey, he's just tested it. We can hear just fine.
Which mic are you using?
I don't know. I think I'm just using this built-in webcam mic. Sounds all right. Microphone management on the road is the most annoying part about being on the road, I would say. Because we have some nice mics, but setting them up and having the desk space for it is a little bit finicky, folks. Just a little bit finicky. Okay, I'm just pulling this Boolean knot tight, and it's giving me guff. Silly Boolean knot. How dare. Sometimes I get concentraty and I'm sorry because then I go quiet. Oh, I love seeing I'm Stitch people on my feed. Me too. I tell you what, me too. How long do we plan on RV tripping? That's a great question. So we were driving, like actually crossing the country from Utah to Maine. We ended up taking about 2 weeks to do that because Spencer had to go to California for work for a hot second, and I hung out in Missouri, and you know, just things. And anyhow, so it ended up taking us about 2.5 weeks to get to our final destination. We're staying on my parents, just staying outside of their place. We plug into their house, and you know. But we'll be living out of our RV for a couple months because we're ultimately moving abroad, and we're just waiting on some like visa stuff to get approved and cleared and all that. So I don't know, that stuff just takes the time it takes. And so we thought we'd get ahead of selling our house and come east and spend time with family while we waited on that process. So we're done kind of RV tripping, as it were, but we are RV living now for a couple months. It's kind of nice. I'll be honest with you guys. We've lived out of our RV before. 2018 was the first year. 2020 we came to Maine and spent a lot of that COVID summertime here just because it's pretty rural and it was a lot more open and easy to like live, which was nice. But I tell you what, it's nice for like if you've got the ADHD, which I do. I'm finding having everything closer together makes life easier for me. Like at home, when I had a full room that was my office, which I loved, and I love having the space and the big window and what have you. That was really nice. Lots of storage. But I just get like hunker down in there for hours and like forget to eat because you just get hyper focused. But here, the kitchen's just right there. So if I have to like get up and use the restroom, when I'm walking back past this tiny little kitchen that's just right there. And it's like, oh, I should make a sandwich. And so I will and eat it. And then I can sit down and whatever. And same thing, like getting in the groove of working is sometimes tricky. If I would wake up and sit at the counter and like have breakfast, have a coffee, if I like open my book, start reading, like an hour, 2 hours could fly by before I actually start working for the day. And then it's like, oh shoot. And then I feel behind. But in the RV, when my desk is just right here, I can like sit down easily with my coffee and just kind of get going and start checking things. And anyway, it's a very ADHD friendly way to live in a smaller space. 10 out of 10 recommend. And everything has a place because it has to, because there's just not a lot of room. So that feels nice. It's easier to like find a thing sometimes because it's like we just have the one of it in the RV, you know, like the one ladle or the one what have you. And it's in that drawer because that's where, you know, you don't have like an overflow utensil drawer and like utensils in a thing on the counter and then most of the utensils here, but the other ones you don't use a whole lot of it. Like it's just a lot more consolidated. So anyway, that's my thoughts about the RV for anyone who was wondering. Oh yes, she says awesome. I'm sure your parents love having you close. Yes, they do, and it's fun to be near them too, which is nice. Yeah, because we live pretty far away otherwise. They are going to Utah actually to visit my sister and her family next week, so that's cool. Kind of weird we're not going to be there, but we at least got some time with them this week before they left to do that, so that's good. We tried to get here earlier, but it's just, man, getting rid of your stuff is more of a lengthy process than I would have thought. If you're thinking about downsizing, moving abroad, start now. Really get honest with yourself about what you use in the day-to-day, and whatever you don't use in the day-to-day, ask yourself if you need to hang on to it. The answer's probably no. And ask yourself how attached you are to it. It's not attached to you, friendly reminder. there are things obviously that are sentimental and have memories, and you know, we've kept some things, but it's been really freeing to let stuff go, I can tell you that. More than I anticipated, for sure. I wish you guys could hear. There's loons. There's a lake, a small lake that this house is on, and there's loons on the lake, and they've been very vocal since we've been here, and they were just out there. Very cool sound if you've never heard a loon. I've heard there are loons in a lot of loons in. Is it Minnesota or Wisconsin that has more lakes than Maine?
I think Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Land of 1,000 lakes?
Something like that.
It's probably more than 1,000.
But Land of 1,000 Lakes really just rolls off the tongue, you know? Land of 1,000 Lakes. Yeah, Minnesota.
10,000 lakes.
10,000 lakes. Way more than 1,000.
Yeah.
Land of 10,000 lakes. There you go, Minnesota. They have loons. I'm sure, like, this entire region, Great Lakes. I don't know if the Great Lakes have loons. Finger Lakes? Does Michigan have loons? If you have loons, and you're not in Maine or Minnesota or New Hampshire, you know, New Hampshire, Vermont, I'm sure they, whatever. If you're not in New England, you're not in Minnesota, let me know if you have loons where you live. I like how this portrait is looking. I can't decide how many more Boolean nuts she needs. Oh, how are the dogs in the RV? That's a great question. Well, now that we're past our initial phase of stress, they do all right, especially once we stop driving, once we're settled and we're just living. It's a little close for them. Like, I wouldn't say they're territorial dogs, but our 2 dogs who are left, we lost our 3rd dog back in February. And the 2 dogs that are left they get along, but one, we joke, she's a dog that acts like a cat because she's very independent. And at home, she would often, like, disappear, and it's like, where's Pepper? And she'd just be in the other room, like, lounged on the bed in the sun, because she just loves to, like, sun herself. So I think the fact that she doesn't have her own space so much, and she's older, so she has a hard time jumping up on the bed because it's higher. And anyway, we have to be a little careful of them territory-wise in the close quarters, but for the most part, they do really well. And they really like being in Maine because they get to run a little bit more free, and they like the water, and Pepper loves the fish. Like, there's all these little sunny fish in the shallow area, and she'll just stand at the shoreline and just watch, and you know she's thinking about going in, but she kind of never would in a million years on her own just go in, but she's thinking about it. So I think they enjoy it here. It's stressful getting here, but now that part's done, I think we're in the clear. Thanks for asking. That's very nice. Is there anybody else in the chat who does, like, RVing, RV life, camping? What's your experience like? And do you take your animals? This one, when we were in Indiana, in Evansville, we were staying at this great RV park, and it was a bigger one, really big RV park, but not a lot of bells and whistles, just a lot of space. And, like, they didn't have a laundry facility, for example, but lots of sites, spacious sites, and they had monthly rates listed on their website. And we stayed next to somebody. We didn't ever see them to, like, talk to them, but they were really, really set up. Like, they had built in their RV a little bit. Like, sometimes people who stay longer term will build up around the bottom of the RV so that, like, critters don't get, like, up under it, and there's more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they sort of insulate themselves against the wildness of camping life. And outside one of their windows, they had this whole cat, like, fenced-in cat jungle gym. It was sort of like a chicken coop, but for a cat. Quite large. and, multiple stories and multiple places for the cat to lay. And once we did go out there and there was a cat just lounging in the sun in their little outdoor jungle gym, which was fun to see. So sometimes people take their cats as much as they take their dogs. Ooh, let's see. I just got a notification. Post published. Okay, because I'm going to need to... Oh, when the giveaway post, I have a reminder post going up a little later that's like, hey, and I'll tell you guys too, be sure to check our stories, because we've got the Stitch People Day games that I'm just reusing ones we've used in the past, but we've got some games that you can play in Instagram stories, and if you post and tag Stitch People, then you'll be entered to win. We're giving away 10 winners for like $20 credit to stitchpeople.com. So be sure to play a game, have some fun. But I'm also going to post the winner of the I Am Stitch People with that post, which we will also announce at the end of the Sip and Stitch. So in like 40 minutes.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Yep, that was... You're welcome. You're welcome for that enthusiasm today. I think I feel good about this portrait, where we're at. Looking good to me. It's pretty balanced. I don't want it to be totally symmetrical. Now I think I'll do some greenery. What do you think?
I think it's great. Oh, sorry, you're not asking me.
Looking good, right? Okay. Oh gosh, there we go. Sometimes it's so hard for me, especially with the littler hoops, when you're like running your needle through the back to secure the ends of your floss. Sometimes that can be a whole thing. A whole thing, Spence. You don't even know.
I don't even know.
This man sits at his computer and does coding. He has no idea the trials of handmade labor. I kid. Would you grab me one of those?
Sure will.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I also need to decide if I want to do text. She's a yoga teacher, so I was thinking I might do something cute like namaste. Appropriate, no?
No.
Okay, does this ever happen to you guys where I know for certain, that this is centered? I counted it. I folded, I marked the center, I put it on the hoop really well, and I even counted the number of like columns or vertical rows side to side to get to, and I know it's centered, but just looking at it, I'm like, is it though? Something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's because the hair is a little asymmetrical, but I want it to look natural. Do I mess with it? I'll just give it a little tug. The direction though. All the time. Says Giselle. Hello, Letty. Welcome. Hello, new here. Thanks for joining. Welcome to Stitch People. I'm Lizzie. What questions can I answer? Are you a cross stitcher? Are you a crafter, embroiderer? Tell us about yourself, Letty. Sherry says every time. Nicole says that's why I have a hard time with hoops. They never look centered to me. Yep. It's like, and here's the thing is I counted. I know it's centered. I know it is. But I'm looking at it suspiciously. This is part of the DIY book, actually. This is why in the mapping out your portrait section, this is why I like really wish people would read the book, because I do address a lot of things in there. Sometimes you get questions, customer service emails that are like, what about? It's like, there's a whole section for that. Anyway, there's a part in the mapping it out section where I talk about this, because there is actual centeredness and there is like visual centeredness. And the best example, the example I give in the book is like, if you do somebody with like pigtails that maybe come out like this, so you have a little Stitch People body and the big Stitch People head with pigtails, you have all this negative space to the right and left. that's like under the space underneath the pigtails. So if you count that character, they're probably going to be like 12 squares wide because of the hair and how wide the pigtails go on hair. But if that's like a female character and you do a male character who's maybe 8 squares wide because he's got like a buzz cut or something, that's 8 plus 12. That's 20 squares of characters. And you're like, oh, I'll put 2 squares of space in between them. 22 squares. And you're like, great, 11 to either side of the center point. It's going to look weird because, yeah, technically that female character is 12 wide, but because of the negative space, like you're going to want to let her hair eat into like his negative space. And you know what I mean? You gotta watch out for this stuff, because even though it's technically correct by counting, it's not going to be visually correct. Oh, Letty did some cross-stitch people before. Now you found us. Welcome. We have hundreds of patterns to help you on your way and customize anything that you might need. How wonderful. I love that. As stitchers, we are sometimes good at counting. Yeah, right? Oh, that's always the way. You do go a little bit cross-eyed counting sometimes, because square after square after square, especially when you're planning like on the blank before you start stitching, on the blank fabric, and you're just counting and counting and counting, and all the squares look the same, and it's like, it all just goes, like I said, a little cross-eyed is how it feels. I need some black floss. Do I have any leftover black floss? No. I have, however, a little bag of scraps. It was so satisfying, you guys. I think I talked about it last Sip and Stitch, but I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm still reaping the rewards. I had, just over the years, collected all sorts of floss. You know, like when I was doing the Christmas house, I got a whole bunch of different floss colors to like play with and try out and figure out what to do and choose, and you just build up this collection over time of all the floss. And I finally sat down. I used to just have 2 bobbin boxes, like a colorful one and a neutrals one, and now I have 3. Because I finally just like went through and compared my entire bobbins collection. And if I had it in bobbin form, then I've set aside the additional skeins in like overflow bag. But if I did not have it in bobbin form, I went and bobbined it. And gosh, it's satisfying. And I'm trying really hard to put things away where they belong. I organize by color, not by number. And anyhow, it's been really satisfying. And because we're traveling and ultimately going to move, I have everything in a stitch bin. And I have 2 stitch bins. This one's my primary, and I have the secondary is where I have like extra hoops, extra fabric, all the extra floss. And in here, I just have, this is like ongoing projects that I could pull out and work on. This is like specialty floss, where I keep my, like I've got some yarn, I've got some of the, what is this? I don't even know what this is called. The pearl, cotton pearl. You know, that kind of stuff. I have, these are like, I just get these on Amazon. I like that they're kind of see-through, but they're way more durable than a regular Ziploc. You could use regular Ziploc. Oh, I have my little watercolor kit and brushes if I'm going to do watercolor backgrounds. I have my water-soluble pencils and a couple mechanical pencils and like a little post-it note. This is all my metallic flosses for easy access. My Stitch People acrylic, whatever's these are called on the website, my little traceable for those who design by hand. And then I have my bag of dregs. But they're so useful for times like this where I just need a little bit of black floss to stitch the word namaste. Oh, hey, look. A pile of floss on the floor, including some black. Oh, floss everywhere. So I'll put these in my little I don't want to call it a trash bag. My reusable bag. But it was very time consuming to get all my stuff organized. But gosh, it's been worth it, and I do recommend it. I cannot deny that it has been really, really nice. Once again, everything has a place. And it's just nice. If I don't know, I don't have to have all the little piles. I just have my little leftover bag. Easy breezy. Easy breezy. Acrylic people all the time. Yay, Sherry, I'm so glad. It's, yeah, just expedites the process of those reusable shapes. The Pip and Chip bobbins. Okay, I need to Google this, Nicole. I'm terrible with like names, brand name recognition, things like that. Pip and Chip. I've probably seen these and not known this is what they are. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Acrylic bobbins. Game changer, she says. Okay, tell me more, because I feel like because DMC has cardboard bobbins you can buy and plastic bobbins, and I really don't like the plastic bobbins because they're really slippy. I feel like the floss, when you you wrap, and then when you hit the slits where you anchor the end of your floss, I feel like with the plastic bobbins, it just slips right out. Like it doesn't really hold it well. Do you find that is the case with the acrylic ones, or is there a different solve for that? Teach me your ways, because then if you have of course I have an example of it, but if it doesn't catch, then you get this effect a lot where it's like just the ends are out, and that drives me nuts. So I'm going to fix this one. Like if I'm going to have them bobbined, I want to have them bobbined. Proper bobbined. Done right up. There we go. Yeah, when you anchor it in I feel like the cardboard ones anchor. They don't hold up as well over time. They do disintegrate just from use. They're not disintegrate. They just get floppy. As paper is wont to do. Like back in the day when you're in school and you're making those cootie catchers, and and you're like, who are you gonna marry and where are you gonna live? And the paper just gets really soft. Okay. Nicole says they have all the colors on the top and they're thicker. I know what you're talking about with slipping. No, they don't hold very well, but they're UK based. Interesting. They're UK based. Let's take a look. Very interesting. Well, I can also see though, if they're thicker, one thing that I don't like about the thin cardboard / plastic DMC bobbins is when you get to the end of this skein that's been wrapped on a bobbin for a while, you do get those kinks because they are so thin that it's like folded around. So maybe the thicker acrylic prevents some of the kinks in the floss. Guys, listen, I'm smiling because, and I know I have some friends on here who will laugh at me, but do you ever sometimes find it hard to talk about cross-stitching because of all of the potential innuendo pitfalls you could run into? I'm just going to leave that there, because this is Stitch People and this is a family environment. But nowhere else do you get to talk about kinks so openly. And so innocently. I'm just saying. And sometimes I just make myself laugh because I hear the words that I'm saying and I'm like, oh my gosh. In any other context, this would be very questionable. But it's cross stitch. So here we are. Back to my namaste. Oh boy. Oh boy. I need what do I keep looking for? I need to sketch this out. I need to decide what font I'm going to be using. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry. My brain, sometimes I just Oh gosh. Alrighty. Stitch people patterns. Gotta find the alphabet. Oh, little Trish, or is it a caterpillar?
It's a little caterpillar.
Oh, like an inchworm?
Yeah.
We're in the woods, man.
Just hanging out.
Alphabets, that's what I need.
It's the second bug I've gotten out of the RV during this
Alphabets bundle. That's what I want. I really like this font, Alphabet, what have you, called Emma. It's very clean. And I'm going to write N-A-M, Namas, A-S-T-E. Is that how you spell it?
Mhm.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I might not have enough room. I won't have enough room to write it in that font. For this is a 3-inch hoop. Just the 3. 1, a 2, a 3. Crunch. Now I need to make cross-stitch portraits of my 2 favorite yoga instructors. Yes, you do, Denise. Do it, do it, do it. I'm just doing this style, but we do have yoga patterns. Denise, didn't you win the digital library last year? So you should have those yoga patterns if you want to do them in like a tree pose or something cute. I think I'll just do these little fonts with the one with each. So that's N-A-M, Name-S-T-E. That's 7 letters with 6 spaces. 13, bugger. I'll just do my best.
That's all anyone can ask for.
1, 2. Oh, wait, but the T. Haha. Oh, no, the T is 1 with 2. Okay, well. Once again, the spacing, because T's look thinner than they are. So if you text, depending on the alphabet you're using, you can sometimes shave a square off of counting a T in your name because of the top of it, because you could scoot a little letter under some of that dead space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, because we're at 13. Namaste. Anyhow, I do think we've often joked about what we joke about Stitch people after dark. We call it doing romance novels and all sorts of funny things. And then freely making the innuendo jokes about the language of cross-stitching. But you never know who's watching during the Saturday sip and stitch at noon. I know sometimes like people will be like, my kids say hi. Like Diane's Lizzie. Diane Becker. It always makes me laugh because Diane Becker of Stitch People Community-ness has a daughter named Lizzie. But in my family, my name is Lizzie and my mom's name is Diane. So there you go. Both mother and daughter are Diane, but you know, she's the mother and I'm the daughter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Okay, I had to recount. What other crafty things do you do, Lizzie? Oh, all sorts. Too many things. I'll try anything. It's funny, I don't, now that once I started crafting as my job, kind of, for Stitch People years ago, I don't, like, craft in my free time so much. But I do like to try new things. Like, I'll integrate a lot of craftiness into Stitch People. I like to paint the backdrops. I don't know who started that, but it was a great idea. And watercoloring the backs of, the backdrops of Stitch People portraits is fun. I'll try any craft. But I'm more, I don't know, I just like trying all sorts of things. In free time, I don't know, I've been on a video game kick for a few years. I've gotten into D&D in the last few years. I enjoy hiking, especially now that we're in Maine. Maine is great for hikes. I tell you what I've done more of now that we're in the RV, even though it's a smaller kitchen. I've gotten back into cooking a little bit. like try new recipes and stuff. Once again, because with a smaller, it's inconvenient to have a small kitchen, tiny kitchen for cooking. That is true. But when you have a small cupboard and a small fridge, you know at all times like what ingredients you have. Nothing's really getting lost. And if you need to look at like what can I make today, um, it's really easy and fast to check your cupboard and be like, oh, I literally have one box of pasta or a little bit of rice or what have you. So I've been cooking more, which is fun. But I don't know. I've gone through all sorts of crafty phases. I'm curious what other crafty things other people do. I figured out how to quilt once to do a Stitch People pattern as a quilt. That's in the Thinking Outside the Box book. I made a portrait of my parents' dog using a Stitch People pattern, but instead of cross-stitching the squares, I made quilt squares, and then I embroidered on top of it. That was really fun. It's very funny to me because they have it in their living room, and we all laugh because it is arguably one of the most impressive things I've ever made. But it's a stupid dog portrait pillow, which is incredible. It's simultaneously one of the most impressive things I've made and one of the silliest things I've ever made. And that's me in a nutshell. I love things to be silly if they can be. Oh, ta-ta! Happy Stitch People Day! Thanks for hanging out, Jen. Good luck with the, oh, what was it? Were you working on Christmas? I forgot who was who. Christmas ornaments. Yep. Good luck with the Christmas ornaments. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, what does everybody else like to do other crafting? When I was young, I used to crochet. I learned to knit for a play I was in. I do plays sometimes, plays in musical theater. I produce films sometimes. Spencer and I, last one we did a short film around this time last year. Well, we filmed it during the summer and then we were editing it during the fall. We ran film festivals over the winter. That was fun. Just like trying stuff. I did a fitness competition once, like bodybuilding. Got super into bodybuilding for like a year. And did like a full on, like sparkly bikini and high heels. That was very otherworldly. Totally different world than I ever knew. So that was a cool thing to try. I just like trying stuff. Not always crafty. Someday, I would really like to do like I would love to go to a Comic-Con and make, I don't know. I've not done it yet because I don't even know where I'd begin. But I dream of doing like a really elaborate, very cool, I guess, cosplay of who? I don't know. I have some ideas. Or just like a really awesome, like badass woodland fairy or like something fun. Like I'd love to like make my own costume and wig and like come up with all the accessories. Like, because that's like the ultimate crafty project is having to put all of it together, right? But I don't know how to sew clothes. I think that would be a cool frontier. I'd really love, once we get settled abroad, to find somebody who could teach me how to alter, especially clothes, and do them from scratch. Like I'd love to become one of those people who can thrift really cool clothes and like fit them to myself nicely and develop a really cool style because I'm confident that everything I buy or come across I can alter to fit me well. I think that's a really, really cool skill, and I admire that ability. I really like to learn how to wield a sewing machine effectively. I had a sewing machine, a simple one. Spencer got it for me the first year we were married, or right before we got married, the month before we got married, actually. It was for Christmas. And I gave it to my goddaughter a couple months ago as we were getting rid of stuff. But I'd love to get a new one when we move and learn that. Anyhow, just blabbing now. Crafty things are cross stitch, Cricut, scrapbooking, hand making lace. Wow, that's impressive. I've seen those videos and like, whoa, handmade lace is cool. Way to go.
That is next level.
How'd you get into that? Is that something you were like, I want to learn it? And so you did, or did you have like a grandma who did that and taught you, or you know what I mean? How do you get into hand making lace? Oh, I'd love to do I've always wanted to do stained glass. I had a teacher in 6th grade. She was my homeroom teacher, and she did stained glass as a hobby. And once she brought it in and she showed us how you like wrap the edges in copper or something and then how you weld it all together, and really, really cool. I love glass. Like, I had a stained glass panel that I gave to my other goddaughter when we were moving, because I just love the way, like, light filtering through colorful windows, and I'd love to learn stained glass. I think that would be really, really cool. Seems like that's something I could learn from someone in the UK. I took a pottery class with my mom once. I really enjoyed that. I have some bowls that I made. They're holding all like my soap and dish stuff. I really liked that. I liked pottery quite a bit. I would enjoy doing more of that. But I don't know. I just like, for me, I like trying stuff and like kind of learning and figuring it out. Like, that's the fun part, rather than like making it my thing, which is ironic because of Stitch People. But this sort of happened by accident 10, 12 years ago. It just sort of kept growing and growing and growing, and here we still are, so, which is awesome. But, you know, I wouldn't say even that cross stitching is like my number one passion. It's just something I figured out, and then other people were like, oh, that's cool, I'd love to figure that out. And I was like, oh, I could teach you. And then they were like, but do you have farm animal patterns? And I was like, sure, I can make some of those. And then they're like, but do you have military patterns? And I was like, sure, I can make some of those. And that's been the last 12 years. Just, but could you teach us how to do it? Great, yeah, I'll do a class. Let's learn together. Let's figure stuff out. I do like that part. Anyhow, scrapbooking, I do diamond painting. Sherry, I think diamond painting is really cool, and I would love to see somebody, because diamond painting patterns are like the same as cross stitch patterns. It's all just squares and like pixel art. So I don't know, if you're ever in need of a cross stitch pattern, get out one of your diamond painting things and see how it looks cross stitched. I think that would be really cool. I'd love to see somebody do that. And I've actually tried to hook up with diamond painting companies to like license Stitch People patterns to the diamond painting, because you could do custom Stitch People patterns as diamond painting, which would be awesome. I'd love to see somebody do that. Just like quilt squares, like anything with a square based pattern, you could use Stitch People patterns or cross stitch patterns generally to quilt patterns, or vice versa, or what have you. Anyhow, blabbing again. Card making, oh, that's fun because you could give them away. And Legos, I don't want to say I got into Legos, but I got my first Lego set. A friend of mine gave me the Hogwarts Potions Classroom Lego set, and I loved making it. And so Spencer got me this one, and I still need to sit down and do it. But I can't wait. Well, clearly I can wait because I haven't done it yet, but I'm very excited to do it. I just need to find like the right day and the right mood to do Legos. My thing is, I don't like displaying Legos. This is my problem, you guys, with hobbies. Is like, I like Stitch People, but I feel like I've made portraits for everybody, and so like, what do I do now? Because I don't like displaying my own. I don't know. Same thing with Legos. It's like I like doing them, but I don't like want to put them on my shelf necessarily. Is there like a Lego club where you can like do the Legos and then break it back down and send it off to somebody else to do? Is that a thing, or is that like totally not Lego psychology? Are you supposed to like keep it forever? I don't know. It's kind of the same thing, like even doing theater. Like, I love doing plays and I love performing on stage, but I don't necessarily love going to theater as much as I enjoy. I mean, I enjoy going to a show, but not as much as I enjoy being in a show. Same thing with movies. I like producing movies more than I like watching movies. I don't know. Let's see. I have a 1-year-old, so stitching is go-to at the moment. Stitching's so easy to like put up and put down and get back to, so I don't blame you. My mom did lace a long time ago, went to Craft Expo. They were demonstrating, and my mom and I decided to go for it again. I love that. What a cool story to kind of re-enter it with her. That's great. Sherry is addicted to the Harry Potter line. I just don't have room for everything. I know. I would love to tackle like the huge Hogwarts. That would be so fun. But I don't have the space for that. So many Legos in the house. It looks like children live here, but we are 2 adults. That's perfect. I love it. Respect the people who display them. I have nothing against it. I just, especially in our house wasn't super big in Utah, and now that we're living out of an RV and traveling abroad, it's just like there's no room for any of it. I need to, let's see. Okay, I have my helper, Lily, who helps us with social media and such. Because it's a whole thing to keep. I don't know. I'm not great on social media anyway. Just myself. I'm not even on there every day. But we don't want to miss when people post, and we try and repost stories. And anyway, so if y'all haven't met Lily, she's awesome, and she helps us make sure that your stuff gets reposted and seen and saved and all of that. Coordinating our reposting. Stitch People, or not Stitch People, social media is very time intensive. Like, pro tip, if you want to start a business in the modern age, you're starting a social media business. Full stop. So be prepared. Speaking of my Simba Legos. But anyway, Lily's helping us choose our winner. She's been compiling all the I Am Stitch People portraits for us and making sure nobody slips through the cracks. So very, very much appreciate you, Lily. She just texted and said, I'm going to make her blush. And I don't care. I will make you blush. You do excellent work and we appreciate you. Because social media is hard for me. And so I'm very grateful for not having to be on it all the time. But yeah, as far as like the future of Stitch People goes, because we're incorporating Stitch People as a subsidiary in the UK. And so we'll be businessing as Stitch People abroad, and we're going to be getting more into like in-person stuff. I want to bring Sip and Stitches offline. Like, I'll still do the online ones obviously, but I want to like pair up with cafes and pubs and stuff and get people together, because I am of the opinion, and I know this is radical, so if you are not here this morning or afternoon to hear very radical, crafty opinions, then you better stop streaming now, because I deeply believe that people all over the world are very cool and are even cooler when experienced in person, hanging out together. And I have a feeling that the more we hang out together in person, the more we will see that we are all way more alike than we are different. I know. I'm talking radical here. Take it or leave it, folks. Friendship. That's what I'm about. So anyway, I want to do more in-person friendship. Utah's a unique place for that because there's really, really, really tight-knit church communities, which is awesome. But they kind of take care of that for us, which is cool. So I'm looking forward to like living in a more international, kind of diverse place, greater London area, and hopefully helping like build bridges. So we're going to be moving into more in-person stuff abroad, and I'm going to be making more content. I'm going to be hanging out here more. So, I don't know, ask questions, make suggestions. There's a post coming up on our Instagram that's like, what do you want to see from Stitch People? Go nuts in the comments. We want to know. We
Go nuts!
We want to know what's interesting to you. Where I'm kind of past my pattern making phase. Not that I'll never make patterns again, but as you've seen, this Stitch People Day is a simpler one. We don't have any new releases today. Last year I released a London pattern, and we released the Stitch People Basics in Spanish, and we released Stitching Outside the Box, and we've just slowed down on like new releases because patterns are time consuming to make, and that's not what I want to focus on. So I'm not, but I like people a lot. I like people a whole lot, and I'm gonna start making more people content because we're Stitch People. Random acts of Stitchitude. Namaste. I really don't know this woman. I don't even know her name, but I'm gonna drop it off at the yoga studio and say thank you. Your yoga class was lovely. You're a beautiful soul, and I hope you have a nice day. That's all. That's all this is for. Because I like making things. I don't need to keep the things that I make. And I think the world would be a better place if we did more giving and less taking. How about that? Once again, radical notions. I'm just spewing them. Crazy. Oh, I gotta catch up on comments, you guys. Chris says, we were in York today. Amazing medieval stained glass in the churches there. Someday, Chris, I'm going to hop on a train. I'm going to go to York with you, and we're going to see stained glass. I love that. I also do embroidery and crochet, needlepoint. Casey always asks, don't you ever get bored? I haven't made a dress in a while, but I'm shopping for patterns and fabric. I love that. One of my besties made me a diamond painting book. I used the book for journaling on our travels while in Europe this past June. Carla says, do you know what this means? I'm hoping you say that you will travel to the UK and we will have a really cool, fun, stitchy retreat and everybody will get to hang out together. Road trip. There it is. We love that. Road trip / boat trip / plane trip. Okay, Sherry did, I got stuck with Sherry's diamond painting card making Legos. Nicole says, oh yes, the 1-year-old, we got into the lace back in South Africa. Harry Potter, okay, I'm more caught up on comments than I thought I was. There's some cool people. I'd love to hang out. We love to hang out with you. I was hoping, I don't know, maybe we'll do like a New England meetup while we're here for a few weeks. That probably wouldn't be too hard to coordinate. Maybe I'll put an Instagram story out about it. Somewhere in Massachusetts. We could go to Sturbridge Village. That would be fun. There's like, we could all just find a place to sit around and hang out and craft together and stitch together, which would be very fun. But also, Massachusetts has one of those historical villages that you can go around and everybody knows, well, if you've hung out with me on a sip and stitch like ever before, somehow these always come up. And I haven't been to one in a long time and I love them, so. Anyway, maybe we go to Old Sturbridge Village. I'm just gonna start some greenery here, and of course I looked down and started counting, and so my brain fell out and I stopped talking, and I apologize. Should have done more hangouts when you're still in Utah. I know. There was something, I don't know. Utah, I have a complicated relationship with Utah. It just felt hard. I don't know. Utah's such a crafty place anyway. Like Cricut is based in Utah, Silhouette based in Utah, ton of quilt companies based in Utah, pioneer heritage, like the pioneers that crossed the plains, like quilting was an industrious necessary thing, and that's really held on. Like that quilting is huge. There's quilting museums and quilting expos in Utah. If anybody's had a pinners conference near them, that started in Utah. And so on the one hand, it's very craft friendly because everybody crafts, and so it's appreciated. But on the other hand, since everybody does it, there's kind of a lack of appreciation for the value of it because people look at something and they go, oh, I can do that. A lot of, we've had to submit copyright issues through Etsy for a lot of Utah shops. Because people just can figure it out and do it because it is such a crafty place. So it's a double-edged sword. And so I think in Utah, I just sort of had this notion that like, meh, everybody's crafts in Utah. So like, who needs a gathering for it because everybody's doing it anyway? I don't know. It's my own psychological thing. But I would put out sometimes on Instagram, like, hey, Utah people, like, should we get together? And I would never get like responses on Instagram, like on polls, I do polls or whatever. Just don't get a lot of, we have a lot of Utah customers. There are a lot of Utah-based Etsy shops that expand on Stitch People stuff, like people who do like temple patterns and fonts and things, which is awesome. But there doesn't seem to be a desire for gathering about it. We had the Stitch People gathering in 2020. That was cool. Right before everything went to hell in a handbasket. For February 2020. It was fun. We had like 80 people. So they did, I don't know. But some people flew in for that. I don't know. And then the in-person stuff got weird because of COVID. So I think I just sort of fell off the train of doing that. But anyway, I'm blabbing. I'm in a blabby mood. Yes, stitching and chatting with a cup of tea. We love that. 6-hour drive to Utah would have been doable. Oh, Sherry. And it is hard after you leave the church. Yep, that's true. Yeah. The church dynamic in Utah can be tricky to navigate. Can confirm. And as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that. But it would be fun too if we get in a groove, because here's the thing, in the UK, there's like pub culture, right? Like all the towns have a pub. You go gather at the pub, you hang out, you chat. In the US, because we're so suburban, you have to drive everywhere. That culture doesn't exist as much on the whole. There are some small towns, obviously, all around the US. But the US is massive, and everybody has cars, and everybody lives away from each other. So it's just, you don't have that like town center feeling as much as throughout the UK, from what I've observed and from what I have lived and from what I have heard. And I'm speaking very generally. What I'm hoping to do is sort of capitalize on existing pub culture. People gathering in small towns where I'll go to a small town, we'll have little crafting get-togethers. Test the model in an area where that culture sort of already exists. And then, once we get the hang of it, and the hang of like how to get the word out and how many people we can expect and whatnot, then we'll start doing more and more and give myself excuses to travel and come back to California and come back to Utah and whatnot. I just heard from Lily, the keeper of the I Am Stitch People portraits. And we have one winner, and I'm asking her to pull a second just for fun. So we're going to do 2 because why not? She said we have a winner, and I just said, let's pull a second just for fun. And we'll see who they are. See who they are. See who they are. The winner of the digital library. It's so many patterns. As I've been going through to like reduce all the digital pattern prices, which again is in process. It's not completely done. So if you're like chomping at the bit to get a Scottish pattern or a Santa's Workshop mix and match pattern, give it just a second if it doesn't look like it's been slashed. It'll all be done for sure by the end of the day, definitely probably within the next couple hours, but it's in process. But we've got one winner of our digital library. We're waiting on the second. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Brandon, my friend Brandon is on the Stitch People live stream. That's silly. Brandon's one of the best sound guys you'll ever know. If anybody needs sound work, audio, sound mixing, sound engineering, let me know. I got a guy. His name's Brandon, and he's in the Stitch People live stream, which is incredible. Okay, we've got our 2 winners for the Stitch People Digital Library giveaway on the 2025 Stitch People Day. Danielle, I'm going to admit, I struggle with your last name, and if you're watching, I'm so sorry that even after all of our friendshipping and time talking together, Danielle, you guys might know her from the Trick or Treat tote bag pattern set that we sell. She has been randomly selected. Danielle De Erical, is that how you say it? She's one of our digital library winners. And Kristen Stridham. Congratulations, you two. We'll be reaching out. We'll be tagging you in the giveaway post as a congrats, and we'll make sure that you have access to all of Stitch People's digital patterns. Pew, 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 pew. Oh. It's a good day. It's a good day. Danielle and Kristen. Oh, friends, thank you so much for hanging out. My, how the time flies. It has been 90 minutes. And I did get, I put the green floss in to start doing it. And I got the word on there, namaste. And I did finish the hair. So this wasn't a completely unproductive 90 minutes. Oh, Kristen, you're in the chat. I didn't realize y'all are the same. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, I saw the first name in the preview, but then she says at Kristen, and there it matches you on Instagram. You're the winner chicken dinner of the whole digital library. So get ready to stitch your little fingertips into a pulp because it's going down for real. Woo, 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 woo. It's the Coke Zero, friends. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up before I get any more obnoxious. I so appreciate you all. Thank you for being part of the Stitch People community. Thanks for hanging out during our Sip and Stitch. Join us next month, last Saturday of October. Will be October Sip and Stitch. That is, I'll just pull it up for funsies. Calendar. The last Saturday of October is the 25th, the day before me birthday. So come hang out before I get 1 year older in October. And Danielle, Kristen, I will make sure you have access to what you need. And keep an eye out, everybody, for the rest of Stitch People Day goodness. Nominate somebody to win a free portrait. Spread a little love in the world. And keep in touch with us. And thanks for being here. Thanks for all your creativity and all that you do to contribute to the stitchy world of cross-stitch family portraits. Sure appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and bye-bye for now.